All right, guys, so we are out here a little later on in the day. Supposed to get up to like triple digits today out in California, but I want to talk about this BigRig FD. We're gonna go over it, we're gonna do a review, we're gonna get on the water. You know we're gonna catch some bass, so let's get after it. A couple of cool things about the FD. So right off the bat, as you can see, you've got a front hatch and a rear hatch over there. And unlike most kayaks, they actually give you the bucket included. So I've got some gear in here that we'll be putting on, maybe playing with a little bit later. But this is how much space is in there. Got a review coming later on about this bad boy, for those of you guys who like to do some live bait. But in here, I found out it's better in this hatch if you're storing your rods, because I didn't have to put any in the vehicle, to have your long rods up here. So we'll go ahead and take these out. Set these aside really quick. And as you can see, there is so much space in here for your rods, for your gear. But there are some foam blocks that are in here as well. So you can also come all the way back here to your rear hatch, where it's super easy for you to drop your rudder if you want to. And you could also put rods back here as well. Now for the rods in the back, I would say definitely 7 feet and under, just because it's a smaller hatch. All right, guys, so got everything rigged up, how we're gonna do it today. No fish finder, and no black pack today, going a little bit on the lighter side. But if you guys can grab a couple of things, I always want to give you some ideas. This Yak Attack dry bag, I absolutely love taking it with me, especially since I go on many different kayaks, but being able to put your wallet, your keys, your electronics, the things that, you know, if something were to go wrong that you absolutely wouldn't want to go wet. And expensive, and they are a lifesaver. Trust me, I wish I was using this when my drone fell in the water. So hard lesson learned. But looking over the kayak here, the pedal drive, right? This flex drive is the smoothest drive I have pedaled. It is extremely smooth. It's so easy to get weeds out or line out if you ever get it caught. And the cool thing about this is if you do put a motor on the back, unlike a lot of kayaks where you got to, you know, take the drive out or put it out or mess with it somehow, or even just leave it in and have more drag, this one is so easy because you just pull up the handle and boom, it's down and it's up. So simple. And this is also a good place to let water drain out as well. But the drive on here, so smooth. And then this top part comes off really easy by just taking these off here. So if you are, like, you know, car topping it or putting it in the back of the truck, you want to reduce some weight, you can absolutely do that. Cool thing under the seat, you can fit 6 3700s. I wouldn't say 8, because then you'd probably be sitting on top of them. You wouldn't want to do that, but I do have 4 3700s underneath, and then some smaller Plano edges, the 3600s on top of them. So you can fit plenty of tackle under the seat, which is always a go-to. And this is in the low position, so if I put it in the high position, then you can fit even more. And so I'll show you that in just a second. The rods on the side, I really like this. So I've got 4 rods, 2 rods on each of the sides. It does come with an additional 2 rod holders back here for your rod. So just out of the gate, before any accessories, you can easily fit anywhere between 6 to 10 rods, depending on how you put them. I've also added just 2 of the rod holders from Yak Attack back here. So we've got 8 rods with us today. Got the Z-Man bags for some soft plastics, and we're ready to rock and roll. Great thing about this kayak is super stable, great weight capacity. You've got 2 hatches, so really you don't have to take much of anything in the vehicle when you go. But we're gonna get out there and I'll give you guys my honest opinion on this Jackson Kayak Big Rig FD. Also, big shout out to Jackson for actually hooking us up with accessories. And by us, I mean anybody who buys a Jackson, because you do get these clips for your rod holder that come with the Jackson Big Rig. You do get the stagers for your rods. You do get a flag in the back and a couple other things too that you get with the Jackson right out of the bag, especially the front bucket, which many companies don't offer you anymore, in the hatch. So very cool. So let's just go ahead and step on it just to show you how stable this thing is, right? So, you know, I don't have to sit down immediately. I can stand on one side. This is fully rigged, you know, 250 pounds on one side of the kayak. So, I mean, you have a lot of stability in this kayak, right? Not worried about walking around, not worried about moving. So everything is good to go there. Let's get going. All right, so I raised the seat to the high position, and in the high position, you can fit probably 10 Plano boxes under the seat. But now I could even stuff the Z-Man under there as well. So you've got so much storage under the seat. That's pretty awesome. So I'm gonna turn around, sit down here, deploy the drive. Got everything ready there. Let's go ahead and go to our first boat. That's another thing about the Jackson, is it is definitely meant for bigger guys. I mean, my seat wasn't even all the way back and I couldn't reach the pedals, you know. So at 6'4", having to scoot the seat up, definitely for taller guys, for bigger guys, you'll be perfectly fine in the Jackson. And I don't know how well the camera's picking that up, but man, just so quiet on the drive, so smooth on the drive too. Yeah, I mean, they've gone through a couple iterations of this drive, but man, has Jackson nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. And it's smooth, it's easy, and it's fast. So let's go ahead. I wanted to test this out. Just recently picked this up. This is the Ugly Stick Carbon. And, you know, coming from a guy who started fishing when I was 5. So I was born in 85. So I started fishing around 1990. Ugly Sticks and Shimano combos was the way to go. So I always got a little place in my heart for Ugly Sticks, especially because if you want a rod that is not going to break on you, definitely an Ugly Stick. Water is a little bit stained, so I'm going to get a trailer, get something a little bit brighter. Crush City freeloader. And this combination actually was suggested to me by Wolf of Walmart. If you guys haven't checked him out, look him up. Awesome dude, has some really cool podcasts that come out. So appreciate you, Wolf. And I've added this to my repertoire of bladed jig combos, which if you start nailing them on the bladed jig, for those of you who know, it could be a pretty fun and awesome day. A numbers day and size. So basically, if you guys haven't seen any of these bladed jigs, and there's many different brands, but you get this flash like you would from a spinning, not quite the same, right? Obviously, right? different presentations, but you still get the blade, you get the shine, you get the noise, and you get like this really cool wobble. And your wobble can change depending on what type of trailer you put on. So if you have something like with a big tail, you'll get a different motion versus something like this, which is going to be a little quicker. But we're going to go ahead and see. What we can do, how high they are, how low they are. If they're close to the shore, if they're not. Looks like I already got some grass. And this lake is filled with grass, so it's a good thing that it's alive and good. So probably just won't let that sink as much. And again, on the standing and sitting, guys, oh my goodness, yeah, stability wise, this is definitely in that PA level pro angler. It's definitely in the Titan new canoe level stability. It's just absolutely amazing. So no problem standing up and sitting. And then also the price, like right now KayCity has a few deals on these for like $2,200, which is crazy. And then I think retail on these things is only like $2,700, and they do make a narrower version too, but which is a Kusa, which is going to be faster, still really stable. But man, this drive is absolutely amazing. But it's almost 9 o'clock and it is already super warm. It is going to be a hot one today. Bluebird sky and 100 degrees later on. I mean, I'm literally, I can have a conversation, I'm relaxing, I'm not even pushing this thing at all. And I would say I'm doing probably about 3.7 to 4 miles an hour. I mean, this thing just zips. And the cool thing is, if you're ever taking it into any shallow areas, if you hit something with this drive, it'll just pop up. So don't have to worry about breaking anything, which is obviously a plus. This kayak just tells you, just stand up. And the stability on this thing is amazing. There he is. There he is. Oh! Dance, dance, dance. There you go. All right, so there's our first one. There we go. He hit it right as it popped out of the grass. Thanks, buddy. Nice, another lip drop. Guys, when I say some of the best reaction bites are right when you rip it through the grass, I mean choked it. Appreciate you, bud. Go get bigger. Another one through the lip. Again, straight through the weeds. Okay, so I'm out here on the Jackson Big Rig, and what can I say? It is, one, a dry boat. And even though there's a lot of big boats out there that can claim a lot of, you know, big weight capacities, what you'll notice if you look at some of these guys' videos, even some of the guys you've been watching, look at the bottom of their hull or inside the cockpit where they're standing, and you'll notice that there's usually some water in there constantly. Whether it's a 1/2 inch to 3 inches, there's water in there. Where with this big rig, I've got it fully loaded again, 6'4", 250. It's bone dry on the inside. Now the only time that there will be some water coming up is if I'm jumping on it, which we may get some video of that, and because it's so hot, I may just do a roll test and show an actual stability test, because a lot of them that I see online are not real stability tests, so stay tuned for that. But it's a fast boat. The drive is absolutely amazing. It's quiet, it's efficient, it's fast. And even though I think this is their third or fourth iteration of this drive, the way this drive is set up, the ability to put it down, pick it up, its speed, its smoothness, how fast it is, I'm going to have to say, as far as pedal drives go, Jackson has the #1 pedal drive. Now, its downside, unlike the Old Town or unlike the Native, it's, you can take the top of the drive off really easy, but the bottom of the drive stays in it. So if that's an issue for you, I don't know why it would be, but just take that into consideration. But as far as the efficiency, the speed, the smoothness, the quietness, the ability to put the drive up and down and grab weeds and everything out of it super easy, it is the most well thought out drive in that case. So shout out to Jackson for that. They also give you a lot of good accessories that you need, like a flag and paddle holders, and they actually give you the bucket for the front. So shout out to Jackson again for that. But the overall feel and stability, I'm walking around this thing, it gives me, New Canoe, UMAX, PA14 stability. You're not going to be worried about tipping or rolling this thing or moving around this thing, even for bigger guys. As far as the leg length, I have this thing probably probably like an inch and a half from moving it all the way forward. And again, at 6'4" with a 35-36 inch inseam, that's pretty impressive. If you're a tall guy or a bigger guy, you're not going to have any problem, adjusting the seat to your size to fit in it. So got a couple of fish in so far. It's kind of died down. It's a bluebird sky. It's supposed to get up into 100 degrees today out here in California. So, and I'm going to be getting off the water. I'm not going to be staying till the evening today, but we're going to see if we can catch a few more fish. But as far as this Jackson Big Rig, when it comes to stability, price point, and everything that you get with it, there's not a comparable kayak in the same price range for all the features and what you're getting. For this similar price range, you're looking at like a 106 or a Slayer, which, if you're not worried about the weight of this kayak, because it is a bigger kayak and the plastic is a lot thicker, so me having this on a trailer, on stands, I'm not worried about it kind of warping like a lot of lighter kayaks will. So that's another good thing. I guess the only downside to that is, yes, this is a heavier kayak, but I like that. I like something that's thicker and plastic, similar to like Bonafide. I've never had an issue with any of the Bonafide kayaks as well. I like a thicker, more well-built kayak than something that's just super light, because that's going to stand the test of time. So a lot of good accessories that we'll go over in the video, a really good layout as far as this kayak goes as well. So we'll keep plugging away, put some more fish in the boat. But update, this Big Rig, for what it's made for and what it is, I got to give this thing a 9 out of 10. Couple of good things about this Big Rig. One, it is so easy to pop the rudder in and out. And I know that may seem like kind of a trivial thing, but if you're doing a lot of loading in the back of a pickup truck or putting it on top of a vehicle, being able to take your rudder off and on in just a few seconds is actually really cool, because you're not going to be banging it up, damaging it, or bending it, which a lot of people do. Also, if you're going in super shallow areas, because this drive does pop up, it's one of the best drives for that, where if you hit something, it just pops right up. Something that's good about that is you can take it in a lot of shallow water, and if you're dragging it, or you come across some really big rocks, or you gotta really kind of just take it in somewhere that you normally wouldn't take a kayak and lift it up, you can just pop that rudder out, and there is a protector on the back where you can just kind of drag it around. So that's another good thing. Having the rods off to the side is way better than having the rods right next to your feet or beneath your feet. You'll see a lot of guys, even in the, like the PA or the Titan X, they don't really have their rods in the rod tubes because it gets in the way of where their feet is. But on the Jackson, they put it on the starboard and port side to the exterior of the kayak. So I've had the rods in there all day utilizing them, and it's been super efficient, super good. So that's another thing if you're going on a river or taking a trip, or you just simply don't want to have the rods behind you vertically. You can fit, I would say, 8 rods in there comfortably. You could probably do 12, depending on what kind of rods they are. Bait casters are going to be easier because they have smaller eyes on the rod, so you'll be able to fit some more bait casters in there than you will spinning rods. But really good setup. You do have standard paddle clips that come with this as well, so you're able to have your paddle on the side like I do right now. You also have a paddle holder up front. You do have 2 hatches. So one of the things that's really cool about this, as far as wiring, you have a lot of access to the hull, and you could also store a lot of gear in both hatches. So I had all 8 rods plus a bunch of gear in the hull, so I didn't have to fit all that stuff in the car, and it worked out really, really well. So very well thought out that way. The chair high-low position, if you guys have watched any of my other stuff, you know how I feel about that. Sometimes the weather can change on you, and you can get in some pretty bad stuff. I know I have. And being able to put that chair in the low position when things get hairy gives you a lot more confidence. And it's honestly just a safer application, right? You lower your center of gravity, you greatly reduce the chance of you rolling your kayak. So that's always a plus. Also, on the side, both sides, they have these little plastic screws, but you take them out and you can fit accessories in there. So realistically, I can't really find a reason why you would need to drill into the hull. I mean, if you wanted to put some electronic accessory in there, sure, you can drill a small hole and use like a Hobie or Yak Attack accessory for that. But other than that, it's super easy to accessorize this kayak. Plenty of rails, plenty of options, right? And just an awesome overall design from Jackson on this one.